58% of men don't know how to be masculine anymore. I'm going to show you the exact three-pillar framework that resolves modern masculine identity confusion. This isn't about choosing between traditional or modern. This is about integrating both into authentic manhood. By the end, you'll have a clear masculine identity roadmap you can use today in your relationships, career, and fatherhood. And if you stay until the end, I'll reveal the one shift that separates confused men from those who lead with confidence. Welcome back to Deeper Dudes. But first, let's talk about why modern men are paralyzed by contradictory expectations. Your wife wants you emotionally available, but your workplace demands stoic leadership. Your kids need a nurturing father, but society still expects traditional strength. You open up and you're weak. You stay strong and you're toxic. Research from Pew shows 58% of men aged 35 to 55 report genuine confusion about what masculinity even means anymore. And this confusion is highest among college-educated men in professional careers, the guys doing everything right on paper. Here's what nobody tells you. This confusion isn't your fault. The rules changed overnight. Traditional masculinity, the model your father lived, was called toxic. Without anyone defining what healthy masculinity looks like, you're told to be sensitive but strong, vulnerable but reliable, emotional but logical. These aren't just hard to balance, they're presented as contradictions. And when you can't figure out how to be all things to all people, the shame creeps in. You feel like you're failing at being a man. What a load of crap. Nobody teaches us that masculinity isn't about choosing one mode or rejecting another. It's about integration. And the identity confusion? It's linked directly to increased depression and anxiety in men. Because when you don't know who you're supposed to be, every decision becomes a referendum on your worth. I know because I lived it. I was the guy who thought being a good man meant never showing weakness. Then my marriage nearly collapsed because my wife felt like she was living with a stone wall. When I finally opened up, I felt like I was betraying everything I'd been taught about strength. I was caught between two definitions of manhood, both demanding total commitment, neither offering a path forward. But masculinity isn't a binary choice between hard and soft. It's an integrated whole. And here's exactly how to build it. The first pillar is contextual strength. This comes from research in positive masculinity psychology. Here's the truth. Strength isn't one behavior. It's the capacity to match your response to the context. In a crisis, you're the calm, decisive leader. In intimacy, you're emotionally present and vulnerable. In conflict, you're firm but fair. This is what researchers call psychological flexibility, and it's the core of healthy masculinity. Here's how to develop it. First, identify your default mode. Are you always the stoic problem solver? Always the emotional processor? Write it down, not to judge it, but to know your starting point. Second, map your contexts: work, marriage, fatherhood, friendship. For each context, ask, what does strength look like here? At work, strength might mean decisive leadership. At home with your kids, strength might mean getting on the floor and playing without checking your phone. Third, practice mode switching. This is the hard part. When you come home from work, you have to consciously shift from professional mode to intimate mode. I use a physical ritual. I sit in my car for 2 minutes before going inside. I breathe. I remind myself that the strength my wife needs is presence, not solutions. That small practice changed my marriage. Fourth, give yourself permission to be different things in different contexts. You're not being fake, you're being appropriately responsive. A man who's gentle with his daughter and fierce in protecting his family isn't contradicting himself. He's integrated. When I started practicing this, something shifted. I stopped feeling like I was failing at masculinity and started feeling like I was mastering it. Because real strength isn't rigid, it's responsive. And once you understand contextual strength, the second pillar becomes the framework for authentic expression. Before we go any further, I want to pause for something important. None of what we've been talking about matters if we don't have the energy and clarity to actually implement it. Look, we can't become the best version of ourselves on a broken foundation. We all know what it feels like to wake up exhausted. No energy, poor focus, and zero motivation. We've all been there. We also know what it feels like when we get good, restful sleep, targeted therapy, and the right supplements. I've personally tested more things than you can imagine. I'm like your personal guinea pig. Everything linked in the description below, science-backed and extensively tested products. And if you grab anything through my links, you'll be supporting this channel at zero cost to you. Thanks for taking a look. Now let's get back to it. If this is helping, please hit that like button so more men can find this when they need it most. And drop a comment. What's the hardest context for you to show up in? Work, home, or friendship? No judgment, just curiosity. Here's the truth about modern masculinity that changes everything. The conflict you feel isn't between traditional and modern masculinity. It's between performance and authenticity. For decades, masculinity was a performance. You performed strength even when you were scared. You performed confidence even when you were lost. You performed invulnerability even when you were broken. And that performance protected you in a world that punished male vulnerability. But it also disconnected you from yourself, your partner, and your kids. Research from Brené Brown's work on vulnerability shows that men who suppress emotions don't just harm their mental health. They become less effective leaders, less connected partners, and less present fathers. This means the very performance designed to make you successful is undermining your success. The second pillar is authentic vulnerability. This is not weakness. This is the courage to be known. And it's grounded in something called secure attachment theory. When you're authentically vulnerable, you're not dumping emotions without boundaries. You're selectively sharing your internal experience with people who've earned your trust. Here's the system. First, distinguish between vulnerability and venting. Vulnerability is, I'm struggling with this decision and I need your perspective. Venting is unloading without intention. Vulnerability strengthens connection. Venting creates burden. Second, identify your inner circle. These are 2 to 4 people, could be your wife, a close friend, a brother, who have proven they can handle your real self without judgment or advice, unless you ask. Not everyone deserves access to your vulnerability. That's not walls, that's wisdom. Third, practice small disclosures. You don't start with your deepest shame. You start with, I'm feeling uncertain about this project. You test the water. If they respond with presence, not fixing, you go deeper next time. I started this with my wife. Instead of I'm fine, I started saying I'm frustrated, and I don't know why yet. That one shift, tiny and terrifying, opened a door I didn't know was closed. She didn't need me to have answers. She needed to know I was human. Fourth, pair vulnerability with agency. After you share what's hard, share what you're doing about it. I'm struggling with this, and here's my plan. This prevents vulnerability from feeling like helplessness. It frames it as strength in process. When a friend told me he was scared about his business failing, then told me the 3 steps he was taking to turn it around, I didn't see weakness. I saw a man in the arena. And that's the key. Authentic vulnerability isn't about being a victim. It's about being real while staying in motion. This leads directly into the third pillar, and it's the one that brings everything together. The third pillar is purpose-driven action. Here's what most men miss. Masculinity isn't just about how you feel or how you relate. It's about what you build. The research is clear. Men derive significant identity and well-being from purposeful work, whether that's career, fatherhood, community contribution, or creative pursuit. When you're building something that matters, the identity confusion fades. Because you're not asking, who am I supposed to be? You're asking, what am I here to build? Here's how to anchor yourself in purpose. First, define your mission. Not your job, your mission. What do you want to create, protect, or improve in your lifetime? For me, it's raising kids who think critically and love deeply. That mission guides every parenting decision. It's my North Star. Second, align your daily actions with that mission. Every Sunday, I review my week. I ask, did my actions this week move my mission forward? If not, what needs to change? This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Third, build something with your hands or mind that's separate from your paycheck. A business, a garden, a book, a mentorship. Something that exists because you made it exist. When my career felt unstable, I started writing. That creative work reminded me I could still build, still contribute, still matter, even when external validation disappeared. Fourth, measure progress, not perfection. Traditional masculinity often measured manhood by arrival. You're a man when you have the house, the title, the respect. Modern masculinity measures manhood by movement. You're a man when you're growing, building, evolving. I track 3 things weekly. 1 thing I learned, 1 thing I built, 1 person I served. That simple practice keeps me grounded in progress. When you combine all 3 pillars, contextual strength gives you the capacity to respond appropriately in every area of life. Authentic vulnerability gives you the courage to be real in your closest relationships. Purpose-driven action gives you the direction to build a life that matters. This is how men resolve the identity crisis, not by choosing traditional or modern, but by integrating strength and vulnerability, performance and authenticity, being and doing. This is authentic masculinity, not a fixed set of rules, but a dynamic integration of who you are and who you're becoming. Drop a comment. Which pillar are you starting with? Number 1, contextual strength. Number 2, authentic vulnerability. Or number 3, purpose-driven action. And here's the deeper question. What would change in your life if you stopped performing masculinity and started embodying it? Well, that's it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope you found it helpful. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and maybe even subscribe to Deeper Dudes. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. It all helps the channel more than you know, and it also tells us that we should make more content like this. We post videos every other day that tackle real challenges men face, so if you liked this one, you're probably going to enjoy the others. Remember, struggling doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. The fact that you took time to watch this means you're ready for something better. Thanks again for watching and for checking out all the amazing products in the description below. They could jumpstart your healing journey. Catch you in the next one, Deeper Dudes. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, keep thriving.